Hi, I'm Gulraj Shahpuri. I'm a strategic leadership trainer, coach, and a mentor to a lot of people. And today our Power Talk is going to be the third of this series of these Power Talks about the success equation. The first one was about self-confidence. The second one was about self-esteem. And right now we're going to put it all together so it makes a lot of sense to us. The first part of the success equation is self-confidence, which is comprised of skill and practice. The second part, if you remember, was self-esteem, which is what others think of me, which is what I think of myself. And the third one, which I call self-efficacy, or that belief in oneself, thinking, can I do it or not? This all leads to success. When you multiply the two, and of course, let's factor in things like luck, and let's factor in things like opportunities. And when you multiply all this together, you get something called success. Guys, the success equation is a little interesting because you can have one thing and not a lot of the other, and the results are pretty low. And if you're pretty good on all of it, the results are going to be good. Self-confidence is one of those things that a lot of people have, but if they don't have self-esteem, then you actually don't get the result. And vice versa, you could have all sorts of self-esteem, but if you've not really practiced the skill and you don't have self-confidence, then you're going to get a low result. Guys, for the success equation to work, you have to be pretty good at both self-confidence and self-esteem, because when you multiply the two, then you get success. Now, self-confidence is one of those things that a lot of people have, but they don't really, because they know the skills, but they've not practiced it. So let's say somebody has 70% self-confidence, but their self-esteem is pretty good. So let's say it's about 90%. So if you take 70%, which is 0.7, and you take 90%, which is 0.9, you multiply the two, you have 63%. Not very high. So you know that you have to work on one of those two things. And in this case, well, you got to work on both of them, but self-confidence is the major area you need to work on. A long time ago, I think it was class 8, I had a friend, Brad. He wasn't very good at math. And whenever the teacher would give him back his test paper, she would always give it back upside down because the poor guy would always score pretty poorly. So this time, this math test was coming up and I knew he had been practicing a lot. In fact, I went to his house and I saw all sorts of extra study material that he'd gotten from his tutoring service. I think it was Sylvan he used to go to. And his mom even told me that he's pretty confident now because he had understood the skill. He had understood it to such a point where I don't think even I knew it. He had practiced more than anybody. So you can say on self-confidence, he was probably 100%. Let's just say he was 100%. Now, when he went to school the next day and the math test was coming around, as soon as he stepped in the classroom, that was the same classroom where everybody used to make him feel bad. That was the same classroom where the teacher would give him the test paper upside down. And that was the same classroom where even that day when he sat down, right before the test started, the teasing started. And when he was doing his test, I remember I looked over at him. He was at the first question. He's mouthing to me. He's saying, I'm getting decimals. And it was a test question where we were supposed to get whole numbers, and the poor guy was getting decimals. Not only did he get that question wrong, he probably got the next one and the next one wrong again. And you know what happened? The same thing as always happened. When he got his test paper back, he got it back upside down. So his self-confidence was really high, but his self-esteem, you could say maybe it was 50%. So 100%, which is 1, times 50%, which is 0.5, 1 times 0.5, guys, again, it's 0.5. And all the preparedness in the world, because his self-esteem was low, he just couldn't make it. It's a combination of awesome self-confidence and awesome self-esteem which leads to success. And you have to be able to zero in on where the system breaks down, whether it's skill or practice, or whether it's what people think of you, what you think of yourself, or self-efficacy, that belief in yourself. If even one of those things are low, guys, everything gets pulled down. But here's the best part. If your self-esteem is really high because your self-efficacy is high, that automatically raises your self-confidence too. Because your self-confidence, remember it was skill and practice? Well, self-efficacy is that belief in oneself that I know a lot of things, which is also skill. So excellence in self-esteem will automatically pull up your self-confidence, and excellence in self-confidence will also pull up your self-esteem to a certain point, because one of the legs of self-esteem, guys, is the same as what self-confidence is. And when you multiply them out, you get an awesome thing called success. Now, of course, there's a couple of other factors in here that I talked about, which is luck, which is also opportunity. So you have to be at the right place at the right time, obviously. It's like a basketball that's locked in a closet. Of course, it's not going to be scoring any baskets, but that same basketball, when kids are dribbling it around, of course, it's going to make a lot of points, right? So you know that now we have that whole equation worked out. You just have to figure out where your system breaks down, and you will become awesomely successful. I'm Gulraj Shahpuri, and thanks for watching this third Power Talk in this three-part series of the success equation: self-confidence times self-esteem equals success. I really hope you like it. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, give it a like and share it with other people. And if you're watching this on YouTube, then do subscribe to the channel and make sure that you write a comment here below. It'll mean a lot to me. Thanks again for watching, guys, and take care.